lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs. Instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We're live here from the Low T Center studio. 865-255-03 is the Irish Networks hotline this morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. If you're listening on the app, good morning. If you are viewing the program via Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live, good morning, and glad that you can be with us this morning. Hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. It is a great day to have a great day. Ben, what is up, my friend?
The sky, or in this case, the ceiling.
The roof is a ceiling. The
Yes.
ceiling is the roof.
That is correct.
I
Good
forgot-
morning.
I forgot how Jordan said it.
I forget as well, but I think it's a good thing that we forgot how Michael Jordan said that because it wasn't his smartest moment.
It wasn't his best speech.
Well, it wasn't his brightest moment. That is for sure. I hope you are doing well. I hope the listeners are doing well. 2 days away from Tennessee football.
It's time for another opportunity in Neyland Stadium, and
9 days away from Tennessee draining the swamp. I mean, how can you not be excited this morning? Speaking of the swamp, I have a question. I'm going to put you on the spot right off the bat.
okay.
This weekend, Florida plays Alabama.
Yep.
Who would you rather see win?
I thought about this on this morning while I was whipping up breakfast for the kiddos and packing lunches. I was thinking about this. I don't have to root for a team. It shouldn't really matter because
regardless of what happens for the Gators, they're going to have to flush the game anyways on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and get ready for us. Now, what you hope happens is Alabama exposes Florida, exposes some weaknesses that Tennessee can take advantage of, and that Alabama roughs them up a little bit. Roughs them up. That's what you hope. But really, when you get down to it, will it matter that much who wins the football game in terms of the effect that it has in our game? I think when you really, really, really think about it, it's not going to matter all that much. I mean, I guess if Florida wins, they'll be feeling high and stuff like that and feeling good about themselves, but they'll still have to turn around and flush it. If they lose badly, they'll still have to turn around and flush it. So I just want them to get beat up physically and get exposed.
Yeah, that should be what Tennessee fans are hoping for, is that they just get beat all the way up and demoralized. And although, would you rather have them demoralized or not? Because if Alabama does demoralize Florida, does that not wake them up in a way, and maybe they have a more of a sense of urgency going into Tennessee week? I don't know that I want Alabama to serve as a wake-up call. Not that I think Florida has any chance of winning. I don't understand the love of Florida that these SEC media members and national media members have. They've beaten FAU, and they've beaten a USF team, which, by the way, I think they allowed USF to score 20 points the week after NC State beat USF 45-0. Emory Jones is not good. He's not. Anthony Richardson, I think, has the skill set to be really good in the future, but he hasn't played a ton of football, so you know there's going to be some mistakes in there from AR-15, which is a really dope nickname.
It is.
So I don't know. I don't
think Florida has a reason to feel like high and mighty and good about themselves at this point. I'm pretty sure Dan Mulling and the staff is on them about a style of play that they have to get to, because they knew Alabama was around the corner. And just because you win a game, coaches are going to harp on, how did you win that game? Yes, it's good to win, but all right, we got Alabama, around the corner. We got SEC schedule around the corner. So how we play is important too. So it'd be hard for me to believe that Florida players are feeling all high and mighty about themselves, because they got a lot of questions, man. A lot of things they have to clean up before the number one team in the country is in town this weekend. So me personally, I don't really care if they win or lose. I just hope that Alabama is able to physically beat them up to where guys are not able to, practice at full strength at the beginning of their week next week. I want Alabama to expose them and give Heupel and Golish and Halsley some ideas. Will Florida handle motion a certain type of way? Will Alabama expose them by going up tempo? How do they handle certain formations, stacks, formations out of receiver sets, or whatever? There's so many things that you can look at and gain from watching the film of the previous game. That's what I want. Like, I want Alabama to give us some ideas of how to beat them, whether it's on offense, defense, special teams. I know that we exposed Pittsburgh's punt team by getting to the punter, blocking it. Now every team that Pittsburgh's going to play will be like, hey, we can block a punt. Look what Tennessee did. So that's what I want to happen.
If Pat Narduzzi is as good of a coach as I think that he is, then that was the first thing they worked on in practice this week.
Oh, for sure.
It's correcting that mistake.
For sure.
Because a coach, even as great as Mike Eckler is at special teams, a coach should never be able to identify something that glaring and take advantage of it that easily.
Well, I mean, all it takes is one guy going to sleep and not doing his job. And honestly, we got close to getting our punt blocked a couple times. So,
But how if you're Pittsburgh can surely Pittsburgh kind of realized surely they maybe saw a weakness in their punt team as well. If Mike Eckler can pick up on it, then surely Pat Narduzzi and his crew were concerned about something that they were doing.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe their guys falling asleep, like you mentioned.
No, I mean, you're right. I think Pittsburgh will work on that probably more than anything to shore that up. But you better believe that Pittsburgh's next opponent is going to come after punts, and Pittsburgh has to prove that that's just a small little leak that we fixed without calling Hiller. We fixed the leak ourselves. We don't need to call Hiller. We good. Boom. Or it's a glaring issue. It's a problem, and they'll just get multiple punts blocked this year. If you are Pittsburgh opponent this week, you sure gonna try to find out. So that's what I'm talking about. With the Florida-Alabama game, just
put something on
expose
film.
Expose them. Yeah, expose them, man.
Put something on film, Dan Mullen, that Josh Heupel can take advantage of, that Tim Banks can take advantage of, Mike Eckler. Because if Tennessee were to win in the Swamp,
Florida ain't gonna win against Alabama.
No. I mean, I just went on a diatribe about how I don't think that they're good. I think they're overrated.
It's about to be a spanking.
Through the first 2 weeks of the season, I think Kentucky's looked better than Florida. I mean, I don't think Florida has looked all that good as at all. And now they're dealing with an injury in the middle of their defense that we'll touch on during around the SEC. They're not the Florida team that you're used to, and they have a new starting quarterback. So that's not necessarily Dan Mullen's strong suit, to have weaknesses in other areas on top of dealing with a new starting quarterback after one of the school's all-time greats statistically graduated and moved on. But put something on film, Florida, in which Tennessee's coaching staff can take advantage of, which makes me think, Swain, we haven't really touched on this point this week, because early in the week, obviously, it's all about the mistakes that Tennessee created and why Tennessee lost the game. But I thought one bright spot in the Pittsburgh game is that Josh Heupel was dialing up some play calls. Now, I don't think Josh Heupel had a perfect game by any stretch of
no
the
coordinator
imagination.
does.
Correct. No, nobody does. So I hope nobody hears that and thinks that I'm saying that Heupel was just perfect against Pittsburgh. He wasn't. Nobody is. But I thought he was out coaching that Pittsburgh defense. I don't know if it's Narduzzi that calls the plays for Pitt's defense or if it's their defensive coordinator, but there were guys open all the time in that game for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that play calling is not an issue. I mean, they did a good job of getting guys open and creating matchup advantages in their favor, and the players just didn't execute. So that has not been a question. First two games, it's been about player execution. That's the question. Now, as a coach, you have to instill some confidence. You got to build some confidence. That's your job, and that's why you hear the comments from the coaches, either teleconference or just normal availability here with the local media. Coaches ain't gonna be talking about nothing. You can ask them whatever you want to ask them. They're not gonna say anything because their focus is maintaining the confidence, building the confidence, making sure our guys are playing with a certain edge, with a certain confidence that they can go out there and make plays. They were beat down previously, and so the worst thing you want to see, or the thing you don't want to see, is guys not make plays and listen to the outside noise. Not saying that the outside noise or the people who are watching the game, the fans, don't have a reason to say what they're saying, being critical, but there's some that go across the line. There's some that's super disrespectful. And if you are a player, you can't look at that stuff because doubt starts to seep in. You may start believing some of the things that you're reading. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't need to play. Maybe I haven't changed. Like, you see it enough, you start questioning it. So you can't see it. And the reality is the players do see it. So now it's your job as a coach is to balance that negativity or that doubt with some belief. Hey, man, you can do it. You can do it. Just keep working. Just keep working. Keep working. You can do it. So that's why you're getting boring stuff from Heupel. Listen, Heupel is boring.
Yeah, he is.
He is boring to listen to when it comes to
Purposefully.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't
He's not boring when he's not in front of a microphone.
Yeah, like he's boring in front of a microphone, and like that's okay because his job is coach football, and his job is for his players to think otherwise. Like Nick Saban may be boring behind a mic, but according to one of his players, hey man, he cracked jokes like we crack jokes. He cracks jokes like a teenager crack jokes. He cracks jokes
not more.
like the frat house boys crack jokes. That's all that matters, man. How do the players feel about their coach behind closed doors? Because that's where they see their coach at the most. So, it's about instilling confidence in guys who are struggling. But here's my question. Here's my question for everyone to chew on as we come back from break. We are playing Tennessee Tech on Saturday, but whatever. But here's my question. What players would you identify on this football team that have benefited the most through the first two games from the new coaching staff? Because there's several guys that Ben and I mentioned before the start of the show. But I want to hear from you. 865-250-503. Use the text box. Hit us up on Twitter. However you want to communicate, please do that. And who knows? We might make a poll out of the selections and see who gets the dub for sure. Who is the one player that has benefited the most from the new staff? We may knock out a poll today. 865-250-503. Our number one is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hiller is offering credits for old home systems. You can trade in your old HVAC system and earn up to $1,500 towards your new system. Also, you can upgrade from a standard water heater to a tankless water heater and earn up to $500 with trade. And last but not least, you can trade your old electrical panel and receive $500 in credit for your old one towards your new one. So HVAC system, standard water heater to a tankless, and then old electrical panel to a new electrical panel. Hiller is offering credits on those three. HappyHiller.com, happy you will be, or the service is free. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. The question before we went to break, the question that we want to throw out there to start this segment before we hit up on some comments from Hypo in the SEC teleconference yesterday, and also Vol calls. Got some comments from Alex Golish that we will go over. But man, who has benefited the most from the new staff? What player has benefited the most, or players has benefited the most from new staff? And Ben, I know you got some guys just off the top of your head without even thinking, just easy layups.
Yeah, the first two that came to mind was Jacob Warren and Princeton Fant, Tennessee's two starting tight ends. And yes, Tennessee has two because they are interchangeable for the most part. Jacob probably a better pass catcher. Princeton probably better utilized in more blocking run game situations, but both just reaped the benefits of the new coaching staff. Both set career highs in catches and receiving yards, and have looked really good, and they've emerged as leaders on this team. So those were the first two that came to mind. And as I was thinking even more, I think Matthew Butler fits on that list, just being able to be coached by Rodney Garner. I think you've seen Butler take a step forward this year, and through two games, I think he's had a really nice start to his season. Pro Football Focus obviously think he's the third highest graded, whatever they call it, defensive lineman in the country. So somebody recognizes what he is doing. But if you just turn on the games and watch him, he passes the eye test as well. I've talked about it after the Bowling Green game, just the way that he does things that don't show up on the stat sheet, pushing the pocket, taking up blocks, causing disturbances in the run game, trying to help contain the quarterback, keep him in the pocket, getting his hands up. If he can't get home, getting his hands up to try and bat down a pass. So I think Matthew Butler fits in that category as well, because he's always been a guy that's kind of been talked about since he signed with Tennessee, but injuries kind of got in the way. Not having a defensive line coach got in the way, and now he's got the best defensive line coach in the country, and it looks like it's really paying off. So those three are the first ones that came to mind outside of Theo Jackson. I didn't mention Theo Jackson because before the show you said outside of Theo Jackson, who do you think has really benefited?
Mm-hmm. Theo's easy, right?
Yeah, Theo's, in my opinion, the best player on the team right now. At least through the first two games, he has been the best player on the field, has made a lot of money. I think he started his season like Nigel Warrior did during Nigel's senior season, and hopefully Theo can keep it up for the entire season like Nigel did, and if he does, then he's going to make himself some money this fall.
It's really hard not to mention the entire defensive line.
Yeah.
As we're looking at comments on the text box, Matthew Butler, Tyler Barron, and how about Elijah Simmons, who went from being buried last year at a position that was one of the weaknesses of the team, didn't have the pass rush, to starting. So, yeah, he has benefited as well. So it's hard to really not to mention hard to not mention guys that play on the defensive line, but I think Princeton Fant and Jacob Warren are two great ones. As far as play, is the play different? I don't know. I don't know, but I do see a difference in personality. I do see a difference in accountability. I do see a difference in confidence, and that's Alontae Taylor. I mean, there was a curl route ran by Pittsburgh's receiver, and the receiver caught the ball and wasn't even touched to like 10, 15 yards after he caught it. And Alontae had, coverage on it. And I was just looking like, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. But the question is, who has benefited? And Alontae has emerged as one of the undoubted leaders. He is confident, regardless of what happened, on that play, or what happened, in these two games, or what happens, this week or next week. Like I can see the benefits of the new staff in Alontae, Tyler Barron, obviously. But how about Cedric Tillman? If it is to be, it's up to me, and that's what Cedric Tillman has done. That's the mentality that he has taken. Like, he's being like super accountable. All right, whatever. It's, I learned from Callaway and Palmer and Jennings, and I gotta be the example. And all he's done is outwork every receiver in that room all summer long, and it shows. It shows. The work that you put in or the work you didn't put in, it's showing there at the receiver group. And so Cedric Tillman is one of the guys that I see that is definitely benefiting from the new staff. And so we see guys that probably wasn't used before or didn't play a lot. And listen, maybe it was their fault. I don't know whose fault it was. If it was coaches not recognizing their player. I mean, we always think about like Alvin Kamara, like, if a player's not playing, it got to be the coach's fault. where's D. Beckless? Where's Harrison? It's the coach's fault. No, man. Sometimes it's the players. Most of the time, it's the players. They're not doing something that they need to be doing to earn the trust of the coaches to get in there. And so the players that we have mentioned, maybe they were not doing what they need to do before, but also maybe they were, and then they just wasn't used properly because of the scheme. And we can say that about Princeton Fant and Jacob Warren. But obviously we see improvement in players, and as a team we see it as well. All right, Ben, let's change gears. First, let me get to the text box. Let me read what's on the text box, because we want to make sure that what's up, Evil? Says, I like Cade with his versatility. Gus Shoresval said it, man. I was thinking about this player during the break, just didn't write it down. Didn't mention him, but good save there, Gus Shoresval. Jeremy Banks is benefiting off the field from this staff. Seems like he's been given opportunities to lead that he never had before. Yeah, I mean, I think Jeremy Banks benefited from the previous staff as well. They really helped him turn, his life around. And this staff is benefiting as a result of that. Jeremy Banks is a different player off the football field, but I'm giving the previous staff a lot of credit in that too. So, but yeah, Jeremy Banks is someone that we see a difference in a good way with the staff. Not saying that he's just totally bad with the previous. I mean, he had that one incident, and this staff did a really good job of not throwing him away. They checked on him. They made sure that he improved as a man. Probably the biggest accomplishment that this staff had during their time here in Tennessee was making sure that Banks didn't throw his life away, throw his career away. That's a huge win right there for that staff. John K. from South Carolina says, I know Ben is probably going to say Paxton Brooks, so I'll go ahead and say it. Hashtag punter you.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know, man. He had a great punt there in the first quarter, but had a short one later on in the game. So it was up and down. But man,
he was a great punter before the coaching staff showed up. So
that's punter you right there, right?
That's right.
It don't matter who the coach is. Punter you is gonna punter you.
That's right. Now, if you wanted to throw a specialist in there, you could throw in Chase McGrath, the transfer from USC. He's looked good through 2 games. Hasn't missed a field goal. Knock on wood. Hasn't missed a field goal yet. I hate that I just said that, because now he's definitely going to miss his next field goal. So you can blame me when he misses one against Tennessee Tech or against Florida. I apologize in advance.
It's the announcer curse, man. Anytime announcers like this free throw shooter has been perfect from the free throw line. He hasn't missed a free throw in like 7 years. Clank.
Yep, that's what's going to happen to Chase McGrath. So I apologize in advance. You can blame me. I will take the bullet on that one. I apologize, but he's looked really good, and I don't know how much of that is a coaching staff thing. He was just banged up at USC. He was really good as a youngster at USC. It got hurt, lost his job, transferred. So just now he's healthy and has an opportunity to get on the field, and that's all a good kicker needs.
Yeah, he was 12 for 17 in his first year at USC, and his second year he was 6 for 8. I'm assuming that's when he got hurt. In 19, he was 14 for 17. He was 1 for 1, 50 plus, 3 for 5, 40 to 49. And then 30 yards to 39 yards, he was 6 for 7. So in 19, man, he's pretty good. He was real good. He only missed 3 field goals.
What was he last year? I think last year may have been the year that he got hurt.
Yeah, there's no stats showing for last year.
I think he got hurt in the preseason.
Okay.
Last year and had to sit out. He spoke to the media last week, or maybe it was this week. Sorry, all my days and weeks run together during football season. But he told a cool story of how Velus and Caleb Tremblay have been instrumental in helping him transition to Knoxville. Chase McGrath said he grew up 45 minutes south of the Coliseum and had lived in Southern California all his life. 45 minutes south of USC all his life. And he and Velus were roommates at USC, and they were super close friends, and he had a good relationship with Caleb Tremblay, and they've really helped him transition to Tennessee. He's rooming with Caleb Tremblay right now, so I thought that was pretty cool. You don't expect the starting kicker and possibly the best receiver on the team to be best of buds. You don't expect them to be at each other's throat. That's not what I'm trying to get at, but you don't expect them to be roommates or like BFFs, but Chase and Velus are super close. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So it can have nothing to do with coaching, because like, who's really coaching the kicker? Like, who's the kicking? Like, who actually coaches the kicker?
Tennessee
on the staff
doesn't have a.
Like, when's the last time we heard of a coach who's like, yeah, I helped the kicker?
James Wilhoit with the Titans over the summer. And
at Tennessee.
That has not gone well.
When's the last time a Tennessee coach is like, yeah, I helped the coaches. I helped the kicker.
And not because of Wilhoit.
I coached the kickers.
I've never heard it. Have you?
No, man. I mean, not. I don't know who coached Wilhoit when we was in school. I had no clue.
I would ask Hypo about it today, but I asked the special teams question last week, so I think I'm gonna lay off for a minute.
Yeah, you need to chill on special teams questions.
I've only asked one.
That's enough.
Exactly.
that's
I actually asked him this week because I was genuinely curious. You can be honest with me and tell me if it was a stupid special teams question to ask, but Paxton Brooks kicked the opening kickoff. He was the guy on the opening kickoff, and then it was Toby Wilson the rest of the game, and he wasn't trying to boom it through the end zone. It looked to me like he was trying to get it within that 10 to 15 yardage, like pin them in that corner. For the kick returner, it was to the right of the kick returner, and he was trying to like pin it within like that 5-10 yard line range to see if the returner would make a mistake or not, and maybe bring it out when he wasn't supposed to. And then instead of Pitt starting on the 25, and this actually happened a couple times, the Pitt kick returner made a bad decision, and Tennessee special teams made a good play. Deshaun Rucker had a big tackle in special teams.
He was right there in the 8-yard line.
Yep, and so you're starting on the 8 because you kicked it kind of in that corner there rather than booming it through the end zone, and Pitt starts on the 8 instead of the 25. So I asked Heupel what their thought process was on kickoffs. Do they prefer just to boom it through the end zone, or are they trying to?
Yeah, that's when Heupel.
Pin them in
that's
there.
when Heupel. That's when he laughed at you.
Yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, we want to kick it out the end zone."
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I did see
I
that.
thought it was a good question.
Yeah, I mean, because of the rule, because of the ability to fair catch the kickoffs and automatically get the ball at 25, it really doesn't matter like where the ball is kicked. Honestly, unless it's like a middle dribble or a pooch punt or onside kick, but any kicks from the 15-yard line through the back of the end zone can warrant the same result. All the kick returner has to do is just fair catch it. You get the ball at the 25-yard line, and the coverage team for Pittsburgh was sucking it up, which is why Tennessee was able to get down there and stop the return at that yard line. And I'm pretty sure Pitt was like, all right, let's just fair catch it now. Get the ball at 25. So the movie entitled Not Another Team Movie, there was a guy in that movie that always tried to like initiate the slow clap, like at the wrong time. All throughout the movie, he was like, and like nobody would follow along. And then like one part at the end of the movie, there was a perfect time to slow clap. Someone else did it, and he was upset. You kind of like that guy, Ben. No matter what's going on, You got a special teams question.
Well,
You wait for a special teams question.
I was more so curious as to why Paxton Brooks was on the opening kickoff, and then we didn't see him kick a ball off the rest of the game. And this is after a season in which last year in which Paxton Brooks pretty much boomed it through the end zone every time.
Our guy Brian Hunsucker says you can see on TV that Paxton Brooks was limping after a couple of punts. That's why Toby Wilson handles kickoffs.
Yeah,
So.
and that's what Heupel said. Heupel said Paxton didn't feel like he could continue to put Tennessee in a winning situation on kickoff, something along those lines. Yeah, I've asked back-to-back questions, or a question back-to-back weeks, in which I'm sure Heupel wasn't the biggest fan of, not because they were bad questions, but because he doesn't want to go in-depth to the media with their philosophy on how they do things, because he doesn't want to tip anything to the other team. And I asked him about his kind of thought process on kickoffs, because that is a new interesting aspect of the game, and it can be game changing whether y'all want to laugh at it or not, starting on possibly the 3-yard line, because the kick returner is indecisive on whether to call a fair catch or not. That's a potential reward that a special teams unit is willing to risk, instead of just simply booming it through the end zone. And then I asked him about Milton standing flat-footed going into Pitt a week from today.
Hey, man. Hey, it was good. It was a good question.
Hey, look,
it's what people want to know.
All I know is on the first throw of the game for Milton, the bomb to Jalen Hyatt, he was over there dancing like Jameis Winston in the pocket. So obviously he heard my question and was like, you know what, Ben? Blank, you watch these feet work.
Hey, man, they had Heupel brought out those Jameis Winston drills. They brought out Smokey and, put some peanut butter around Joe Milton's, waist, and told Smokey, go get him. Go get him. Go get the quarterback. And Joe had to evade Smokey. Had to move them feet. So it was like a Rocky workout. That was the key, Ben. You made it happen. So George Cafico, kicking coach, is what I'm getting from folks. Listen, I ain't never seen a kicking coach at Tennessee. I haven't seen one person working with the kicker wearing a polo. Now, I did see Adam West. Adam West walked on here, played special teams. Like, he would always be around the special teams unit. But I don't know how much he, coached the kickers. I haven't seen a kicking coach.
Do you think it's ridiculous that there isn't a kicking coach? And I'm not talking about Tennessee specifically. This is everywhere. This is everywhere.
I don't know, man. I never thought about it until now.
As many games that have been lost because of hashtag college kickers, I mean, it's kind of surprising that there isn't a kicking coach.
I never thought about it, man, until now. So it's weird. Who's calling me? Everybody knows I do a show at this time. Somebody trying to sell some warranties. 865-255-03. Take a quick time out. Be right back after this.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round.
The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecues, time for Around the SEC. We're live here from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. All right, Ben, what do we have for Around the SEC today?
I mentioned that Florida is dealing with an injury situation, which is not the best time to be dealing with an injury situation when you are about to welcome Alabama to the swamp. But Ventrell Miller, starting linebacker, has torn a bicep and is reportedly out indefinitely after surgery. And he is a key piece of that Florida defense. One of the few players on that Florida defense that actually looks like a Florida defensive player. This Florida defense is not what we have come to know and expect out of Gainesville, but he was a good player. So he will not only miss the Alabama game this weekend, but perhaps the remainder of the regular season. Will most definitely miss next week's game against Tennessee. So tough situation there for Florida going into the Alabama game. I want to discuss this article that The Athletic put out discussing the top 5 jobs in college football. And this isn't your typical basic every offseason type of best jobs in the country article, because those are usually articles based off the opinion of that person writing about the top 5 jobs in college football. This one is different because The Athletic asked 100-plus coaches, athletic directors, and staff members to send them their list of the top 5 coaches in America, or the top 5 jobs in America, I should say. And, of course, my phone isn't linked up to my login, so I have to pull it up online. But what do you think the 5 best jobs in America are off the top of your head? What do you think the coaches claim are the best 5 jobs in America, Swain?
Texas, Florida, USC, Georgia, Alabama. You can throw in Notre Dame in that mix. Now Dabo has turned Clemson to a great job. Yeah, I would probably just roll with those. Oklahoma.
You are a smart man. It's kind of like, who do you think is going to make the playoffs every year? The same teams you just mentioned. Alabama was the first team that people voted for most often. Out of 98 total votes, 55 ranked them as the best job in America. I don't disagree per se, but here's my thought. I think that Nick Saban and his success makes it appear that it's the top job in America. But if you take Nick Saban out of the equation, I think a place like Texas would be ahead of Alabama.
I don't know. I wouldn't put that.
I guess it also depends on how you would define the top job in America.
You know, all the boosters are on the same page at Alabama.
Yes,
and when Nick Saban leaves, it'll be the same.
Yep.
And the coach will love to go into that situation knowing that the boosters are on the same page. So that's not the case at Texas right now so far.
No. But like Texas, Ohio State, like they have more resources than Alabama. Like the money goes deeper.
Does it matter if you're not using it right?
Correct. But that was my thought process on Nick Saban being there makes it seem like it's the best job in the country. And then like even Texas, like you have the state of Texas to recruit. And obviously Nick Saban is having a ton of success in the state of Texas right
Everybody
now.
is.
Yes, everybody is. But just in terms of your own turf, your own recruiting turf, I mean, Texas is obviously a bigger advantage than the state of Alabama, although the state of Alabama puts out decent high school football players. Ohio State was number 2. No surprise there. Georgia, number 3. Texas, number 4. LSU, number 5. USC, number 6. Clemson, number 7. Oklahoma, number 8. Notre Dame, 9th. Florida, 10th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tennessee was not voted for in the top 12, top 18.
Shouldn't be. Got work to do to be back in that spot.
I thought it was interesting. I just thought that particular top 5 jobs in college football article just had more value because athletic directors and staff members and head coaches were voting on it.
Yeah, that's Danny White and Donde Plowman and Randy Boyd. You know, the board trustees. It's a lot on them to make sure that this job is attractive, and Josh Heupel putting in the work as well to lay a solid foundation. After foundation has either been built and demolished or failed to be built. So no reason for Tennessee to be in the top 12 at this moment. So foreign players, boy, we got to be careful about what we say on Twitter. We got to be careful. We have to be careful. Florida State, former receiver PK Sam, and I remember him as a player. He was a baller. Gotta be careful. You can't let one comment, one person, one moment make you say something that basically creates a nuclear bomb, and that's what PK Sam did. Tuesday, he had a tweet saying that the Florida State locker room is in shambles.
Already?
He says, received a text from a great source that said the locker room is, and I quote, in shambles. Shaking my head emoji. I really hope not. Knowles, hashtag football. Why would you even tweet that? Why would you even tweet that about your old school? Like, even if it's true, why would you tweet? That's your school, man. That's your football program.
And you're doing nothing but hurting them.
Why would
tweet that out?
But it's the truth, though. That ain't the point. Like, if it's obvious, then, if it's obvious, all right, whatever. But, like, I don't see the benefit. But here's where it got real. So once he said that, someone sent him a message and called him a creep for posting and called him a whack blank N-word.
Ooh.
But the I is really a U and the N-word, and honestly, he wouldn't have. I would have just kept it moving and just blocked him. That's what I would have done. But
you would not tweet it in the first place.
I would. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't tweet that
right?
anyways. Oh, just got word from a source that the locker room is in shambles. Like, I wouldn't tweet that. I wouldn't tweet that. Even if I was doing the show or not doing the show, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't tweet. I wouldn't tweet that. So here's where it hit the fan and it became nuclear. PK Sam, in an attempt to call out this person, screenshot the message that he received, and he says, if you want to go to Florida State, you might get called in for saying the locker room is in shambles, LOL. And he included a 5-star receiver that's committed and said, make sure you choose wisely. He did this from one comment from one person and posted this screenshot. Now listen, I'm not for any racism at all. I do not block people. I will mute you in a second because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't block folks.
You taking up after me, huh? I'm rubbing off on you.
I don't block folks.
Well, I'm talking about the muting.
But I will mute, and I haven't muted somebody. I haven't muted people in a long time. I'm real patient. Real patient. It takes a lot for me to even do that. But when I do remove someone from my timeline, is like I just mute them. I don't want to see it. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care. Like I don't care about your political opinions. And it's every day. It's every day. Go run for office instead of getting on here complaining every day about politics. Oh my gosh. So I just mute it. But I block folks if you make racist comments. Like, there's no tolerance there. Just block the person. What PK Sam did was drop a nuclear bomb. A nuclear bomb. Why would you tweet a recruit and say this? The kid's a 5-star receiver at that. But I don't care if he was a 2-star. Number one, saying it is in itself is crazy. After one person trolling you or one person getting out of pocket, you can't let one person. You can't let one fly cause you to say, "All right, man, I'm about to set the whole house on fire, I'm trying to kill this one little fly." That's what PK Sam did, man. So, hey, Tennessee, we've had our own issues.
You've got some teammates that like to express their opinions on social media. So I think
What do you
need
mean? What do you mean, Ben?
You got some teammates that are not,
I heard what you said the first time.
Not afraid to let it rip.
But they're not doing this.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is you need to start a committee.
No.
You need to be the president of this committee.
I don't think I need to.
Some giant group me.
They ain't gonna do this, man. They ain't gonna do this.
I don't think so either. But just in case, you need to start a committee.
Man, we stunk for a while. We haven't had anybody do this. When you tweeting recruits and telling them, question them not to come here publicly for this.
One of these days.
Boy, I hope that don't happen. What a dumpster fire for Mike Norvell at Florida State. PK Sam. Whew. Hour 2 coming up.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's go to the phones and let's bring in Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I was talking to Ben there. George Casco, he used to coach the kickers, and we honored Johnny Majors this past game. Of course, he was always big in special teams. Of course, you mentioned it yourself, Swain, that was a bright shining spot on our football team is special teams. And I remember back, we'd see a quick kick or kick because of rain, and move it downfield, make them handle it in their backyard and usually get a turnover. But that right there is so important that we make light of it some ways about it. But Evan Berry that we had, that they was afraid to kick to him on returns. That is a part of the game that probably makes it or breaks you if you don't have a good special team. That being said, just talking about players that benefit, and I wanted to get your comment on a couple things. one, we care less about Alabama, but Henry, by him going to Alabama, not making light or nothing, but it looks like he escaped all this stuff, probably benefited from the coaching staff before. We don't know all that's there, but looks like he has benefited greatly. But I didn't think the way he played last year that he'd have the recognition that he is getting. So looks like he may, in some way, benefited by the change in regimes. But Banks, you get on this. I think Banks, as from our team here now, is benefited. And I was thinking the other day, the game bit, and we got down to, running backs hurt. If it wasn't for the fumbling, Banks was probably most dynamic young back we've seen in a while, but he can hang on the ball. He run hard. And I wonder if they ever thought about the possibility of using him that direction. But that's my 2 cents, guys. Get out of here and have a good day.
Hey, thank you, Turkey Man. No, I don't think there's a reason to be moving Banks back to running back or using him in any special situations. I mean, you got plenty of running backs over there. Who's on the phone?
Vol Patriot.
Vol Patriot.
What's up, fellas?
You all right over there? Getting old, getting up. Oh.
That's the good morning stretch there, man. How you guys been doing?
Man, we're good, man.
That's good. That's good. I was at that Pitts game. I know you guys been talking about it all week. I really had much of a chance to listen in and whatnot. Been busy.
Huh? You was at the Pitt game, huh? We didn't know about that. We didn't get a message or nothing.
You're hilarious.
We'll see how it is.
But yeah, man, coming from Greenville, South Carolina, I was going through the Smoky Mountains, man. And it was beautiful getting to the stadium and being in that environment. And, man, we were rocking, kind of felt like that game, I'm definitely going to say that we had a few missteps, and got penalized for it. But, man, them refs were very biased in my opinion. I wasn't calling the game on both ends, but watching Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker, man, and I really was critical of Joe Milton, from the angle I was seeing. But just the other day I got a chance to actually watch the footage on film, and to be honest, he actually didn't do bad. He hit Hyatt, who, he caught it kind of with his body a little bit and ended up knocking himself out of the game. And then he had that overthrown pass, and I can't think who was to, but the other passes I noticed, man, it was because,
the bad one was Tillman.
Okay,
real bad
Tillman. One. Okay, the obvious miss. That right there, I was kind of like, here we go. And, he missed a couple other times. I was just like, wow, man, this is crazy. But when I watched the footage, man, I realized, wow, he overthrew a lot of guys because of the pressure in his face. And I honestly felt like if he didn't have, someone in his face, he might have actually hit somebody, so. And watching, you can really see why they like him. It's unfortunate. I don't know if he's still hurt or what the status is. I hadn't heard anything about it, but, I actually have a different appreciation for that young man. And, hopefully they continue to work with all the quarterbacks, I'm a big Harrison Bailey fan, but obviously they see something we don't see. I'm not going to comment, more on it, but and I'm excited to see what they can improve on, man. But these injuries and everything going is kind of a frustration. I know Turkey Man was talking about Jeremy Banks. Speaking of which, shout out to Turkey Man. But I know he was talking about Banks moving. Yeah, I don't see that being a good option. I think Banks is fine where he's at. No need to switch the role there. But yeah, man, I just wanted to just weigh in a little bit. Hopefully we make the adjustments because I want to drain the swamp, man. But
sure.
Ben, Swain, much love to you guys, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for the phone call. Vol Patriot. Austin wants to know Overton on not Twitter, but on YouTube, what is going on with Ramel Keaton?
He's just a guy in the room.
Jag is what they call him.
Just another guy.
Just a guy. Just a guy. So,
where's the number 80? I don't know anything about Ramel Keaton. I don't have anything to offer. I'm sorry.
I don't have anything either. I mean, obviously, people are expecting more than what they're seeing. So, D'Angelo says over under 2 forced turnovers this week. I'm going to push. I think it would be 2 forced turnovers, but it needs to be more. But I'm going to just realistically, I don't know if they're going to go from not getting any in 2 games and then getting 3 or 4, even if it's against Tennessee Tech. I'm more comfortable going 2. So I do think they force some turnovers. I think Tennessee will win the turnover margin. Hopefully it is 4, get back to even, but I'm going 2. I think it'll be +2. Let's see. Rusty on Facebook says hopefully Hendon Hooker will start on Saturday. Danny says good morning on Facebook. Blackout Jones, hey, part of the 3 phases of football. Talking about special teams. Oh, for sure. Special team stuff is just, they're just jokes. We just joking around. It's serious. It's serious. I think special team has kind of warped people's perception on the Pittsburgh game, because remember, you got the block punt and got the ball on the 2-yard line. And so if you are Pittsburgh, because we heard all week from our side, and we've said it, man, what an effort, man, what an effort. Guys played their butts off, man, and you had these penalties, 13 penalties for 134 yards, and you were -3 in the turnover margin, and you still had a chance to, tie the game up if it wasn't for, a 4th down stop, and hey, the spot was bad on 3rd down and short. But Pittsburgh can sit here and say, man, we could have beat them by a whole lot. We gave up block punt. We had field position that was against us in the first quarter. I mean, Pitt was pinned. And then when they got out of, their own end zone, they had more room. They started moving the football. So if you're Pitt, you could be, feeling confident about what you could have done against Tennessee. You probably felt like you could have, beat Tennessee by 2 or 3 scores. So it's all about perspective, but it's hard to expect Tennessee to block a punt and put themselves on the 2-yard line each and every game. So you got to kind of take that in consideration. Big Bad Leo on YouTube says, if you are the head coach, Swain, who are you starting at QB in the Florida game, and what do you think we need to do to win that game? I don't have an answer for you because we play this week. We play this week. Not because I'm saying don't look ahead in the Florida game because Tennessee Tech's going to beat you, but let's see who performs the best in this game.
It's Tennessee Tech. They got shut out by Furman.
You can still play bad.
They got
individually
shut out by the Fur Man last week.
Man, there were some people that individually did not play well against Bowling Green.
I know. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But here's a serious question. It feels as if there's more. Like, I don't feel like any quarterback's going to gain anything with a great performance this week. But I feel like they could lose a lot with a poor performance. Because if you play well, if Joe Milton starts, or Milton, Hendon, if they go 10 for 12, 200, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and they add 40 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown, everybody's going to say, okay, cool, that's Tennessee Tech. But if Milton goes out there and has the same issues that he did against Bowling Green and Pitt, and we look at his stat line at the end of the night, and it's 6 for 12 or 73 yards and 0 touchdowns and same old that has been the first 2 games, then people are actually going to take that into legitimate consideration, where they won't take in the positive performance into consideration because of the opponent.
I'm going to look at it like a coach, and I'm looking at who prepares the best this week. Who's locked in this week? Who's able to take what we worked on in the film room, what we talked about in the film room, and apply it? Do I have to coach you twice? Do I have to make the same point twice? Where I just went over the film with you in the film room, and I got to do it again on the football field? That shows who's mentally locked in and who's not. Like, stuff like that matters. Does it translate from period to period? So we're talking to individuals about, hey, this correction, this is what we need to do. Does it translate now when you go routes versus air? Do you take what you did in routes versus air? Do you move it over to 7-on-7? Does it, all that stuff matters now. How you prepare. And then how do you go out there and execute and play on Saturday? And I think that goes into my decision next week. But to sit here and say who I think should start against Florida, that's crazy, because they got to play against Tennessee Tech first. We're not talking about, the outcome of the game. We know what the outcome of the game is going to be. Tennessee's going to win. But individual performances in the game, I think, matter and will play a part in who gets the nod next week. So
it absolutely will. I'm just saying from my perspective, I expect any of the three quarterbacks, if they get in against Tennessee Tech, I expect them to all play well.
For sure. Me too.
But on the flip side, maybe shame on me, but if Milton or Hooker or Harrison go out there and plays poorly, I'm going to hold that against them, because they should not play poorly against Tennessee Tech.
I agree. My point is, we don't know who that's going to be, because it is Thursday.
Right.
And so let's wait and see who that's going to be before we start trying to name a starter against Florida.
I hope that I really hope that none of the quarterbacks struggle on Saturday, just because
it'll be a wrap.
Yeah.
Perception wise.
It just won't be a fun conversation to have. And then obviously my personal feelings towards the situation, I might eliminate them if they play poorly against Tennessee Tech. I may eliminate them in my own head. So I just and here's the difference between, you and I had the spirited discussion about Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker yesterday, and this Saturday, when Milton goes out there, I hope he plays well. If Harrison goes out there, I hope he plays well. That's the difference between people thinking level-headed and others popping off at the mouth who take everything personally, who think we have some vendetta against each guy. I don't care who is the quarterback.
That's what children do.
And not saying that we're the most level-headed people on the planet, but I would roll with Hendon Hooker. I would roll with Hendon Hooker against Florida, but if Milton's in there, if Harrison's in there, I'm not rooting for them to do poorly.
That's what children do, Ben.
I'm rooting for them to make me look like an idiot, because I care more about Tennessee's quarterback play being solid and playing well.
I agree with you.
Whereas you see these comments on social media and the message boards and on the text box, it's like, oh, just I can't wait to see your reaction when your boy throws a pick. And it's like, what? You can't wait for this guy to throw a pick just because you want to be that right about a quarterback?
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
I've never cared about who played quarterback, even when I was a player. Now I had a different viewpoint when I was a player, because I was a receiver. So I wanted to win and I wanted to get the ball. But now, after playing, I don't care who's the quarterback, as long as they're the best, guy for the job and we win. So children take it personal and think there's some type of bias, when there's a disagreement or someone's getting on to you. I remember when I was a kid and a teacher used to get on to me. There was this one teacher, 6th grade, my second time doing 6th grade. And this one teacher, man, she was on me. I was like, man, She don't like me. She always on me. But she was on me because she wanted, like, she cared more. Like, she wanted to see me be successful. And so, like, I was a child then. I wasn't mature. It ain't personal. But children do that. Oh, well, you obviously biased against this. Oh, man. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Well, you're obviously biased for this person. No, not that either. It's really neither. It's really neither. All right, hour 2 here in the Swain Event. We'll return after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
University of Tennessee would love for you to add some orange pride to your ride. Official UTK license plates are now available at your local county clerk. Across the state of Tennessee, more than half of the annual fee, which is $61.50 for the custom license plate, more than half of that fee goes to support the Alumni Scholarship Program. Talk to your local county clerk or visit alumni.utk.edu for more information. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Alex Golish was on Vol Calls last night. And Ben, what did he say that grabbed your attention, that stood out to you?
Before we discuss the main thing that grabbed my attention, I thought it was cool how he discussed how they begin planning on what plays to call, because they go so fast. It is kind of intriguing. You're going so fast. How do you call a play so quickly? How do you decide which play to run? And he said that he and Heupel, they start planning on Wednesday what plays to call based on the situation on the field. So they have plays planned for down and distance, where the ball is spotted, time on the clock, so on and so forth. If you watched the Manning broadcast of Monday Night Football, then you heard Peyton talking about Greg Roman. I think it was Greg Roman. I don't know. I can't remember. Talking about coordinators having plays, charted on their big play chart. So they'll have it categorized in 1st and 10 plays.
Mm-hmm. Down according to the down distance.
Right. 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 10.
Goal line.
Short
yardage.
Yep. So on a 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 5, what plays do I like to call here?
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Golish said that they start that on Wednesday. So they already know what they're going to call in particular situations depending on the circumstances on the field. So I thought that was interesting. But the really interesting part of Alex Golish's time on Vol Calls last night was his comments on the quarterbacks. He was asked about Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker by Bob Kessler and what he liked about both of their games. And on Joe Milton, Alex Golish said that he has a good feel for what's going on in our system. He understands both in the run game and the pass game what we're trying to do. Obviously, he's a work in progress, 30 practices in and 2 games in, so he's playing catch-up in a lot of ways there after not going through spring ball. On Hendon Hooker, he brings a savvy, started 20 games at his previous place, highly intelligent and a cool demeanor, really athletic, and his running gives you a dynamic to call plays around him. There's a sense of calm and confidence with him. Does everything like a vet. You don't worry about his preparation. He was asked about Joe Milton's missed throws. He said that you're honest and harsh, but then you go back through the process of what led to the missed throws. The preparation can get you beat at times, so we're continuing to work with Joe about the preparation and process to make those throws. For coaches and Joe, it makes us sick to miss out on those opportunities when you have guys running wide open down the field.
Now, during the break, you mentioned about Willie Martinez having his own comments about preparation. He did speak to the media on Tuesday, and Ben, what did Willie say?
Yeah, not just Willie, but just the coaching staff as a whole. It's been their. It's been the biggest thing that they've harped on all week long is that you don't get beat on Saturday. You get beat Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday based off of poor preparation. The poor preparation and potential poor process gets you beat on Saturday. If you don't prepare the correct way throughout the week, then you're not going to be equipped to go out and win on Saturday. So Willie Martinez really harped on that when he was talking about his defensive backs earlier this week. Josh Heupel has said it numerous times. Alex Golish alluded to that as well. That's been the big talking point from the coaches this week. I believe Cody Burns touched on it as well.
Man, that's why I say foundation is practice is the foundation of any football team. I mean, the culture, how important practice is. Like, go look at USC when Pete Carroll was there, and I think they called it. I think it's either on a Tuesday or Wednesday, but they would call it like Competition Tuesday or Competition Wednesday, and those practices were harder than the games. And today it's Alabama, and their practices are harder than the games. And that's where you grow. And there's games that I can point to that I was like, yeah, we won that game on Saturday. We won it that week in practice. But how we practiced, how locked in and focused we were. And after a loss, like, our coaches point to how we practice. Like, I was worried. We didn't have the best week of practice. And you hear coaches say that all the time. Say that all the time. So
you heard Sam Pittman on the SEC teleconference yesterday say it. Sam Pittman talks before Josh Heupel, so I always get to hear Sam Pittman because I try to get on 5-10 minutes before Heupel gets on. And I'm glad that Sam Pittman's before Heupel, and Nick Saban's right after Heupel. So before and after, I get a little tidbits of knowledge from some good coaches. Where I think last year Pruitt was like behind Derek Mason.
Oh, what a snooze fest!
Yeah, so it's like trying to stay awake, waiting on Pruitt to talk, and Derek Mason's up here talking about his vest that he has mounted in his office from his win over Tennessee, and obviously Arkansas coming off of a big win over Texas, and Sam Pittman was asked about how his team has responded to the success of winning such a big game, and they don't play anybody big this week. I can't remember off the top of my head who Arkansas plays, but it's a Tennessee Tech like team, and he said that he was not pleased with how practice went early in the week.
Georgia Southern,
that's right. So, Georgia Southern better than Tennessee Tech, but not a Power 5 school is what I was getting at. And Sam Pittman has not been practiced or was not thrilled by the energy level coming off of the win over Texas.
Yeah, man, it's all about that practice, man. Yeah, they play Georgia Southern this week, and then they play Texas A&M next week, and then the week after that they play Georgia, and then the week after that they play Ole Miss. So they got a back-to-back stretch of playing ranked teams, and then after Ole Miss they play Auburn. So they got 4 potential L's that they're looking at. But I think they'll respond, and I think they'll beat one of these teams. I think they will, man.
I think they're going to beat A&M.
I wouldn't be surprised. Quarterback issues. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat A&M. I really wouldn't be surprised.
I
think they'll win 2 out of those 4 games.
They're not beating Bama.
Well, they're not playing Bama. They're playing
Georgia,
Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn.
I think they beat Auburn and A&M for sure.
Yeah,
so those are the 2 that I would.
Those would be my 2 guesses.
I'm curious to see Auburn this Saturday against Penn State. Auburn hasn't played anybody yet. They beat down Akron week 1, and then they beat down Alabama State this past weekend, and it had a different vibe because under Gus Malzahn they struggled in those games. Nearly lost to Samford. I mean, they had weird games like that all the time, and then now they're coming out and beating folks 60-0 back-to-back weeks, not messing around. Auburn has done what we wanted Tennessee to do to Bowling Green the first 2 weeks of the season. So I'll be curious to see now that they're playing a school that has more of their talent, how they look under Brian Harsin. Because Bo Nix has been lights out the past 2 weeks, but we understand the level of competition. So I'll be curious to see what they look like.
Chip Garrett says we need to play Tennessee Tech like it's Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Give your all. Go Vols. Chip, you know that ain't going to happen. It sounded good, though. I bet it felt good typing that. And then hitting send. Yes. Yes, we need to play like Tennessee Tech. We need to play Tennessee Tech like it's Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Give your all. Send. Yeah. You know dang well, Chip, that ain't going to happen. It ain't no game. Ain't another game. Another game where we paid the opponent felt like Alabama. Or we played like we were playing Alabama. I'll be lying to you if we looked at them the same.
It's impossible.
I would be lying. Yeah, absolutely. I will be lying to you.
But that doesn't mean that you can't play with the requisite amount of effort and energy, and that is something that I think Tennessee will do against Tennessee Tech. Effort and energy is not an issue with this bunch.
The difference is, like, when you make big plays, the celebration is a little different.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, scoring two touchdowns against Memphis. I just gave the ball to the ref. I didn't have any emotion, man. I just didn't.
I'm glad you didn't get a 15-yard penalty.
I didn't. But the catch and run against Florida, where I tried to dive from the 5-yard line and it was down to 1, and I think Arian scored the next play. But, like, that was different. That catch and run to score against Florida was different than the catch and run that I had against Marshall and against Memphis, or the touchdown I had against Air Force. Like, it was just, all right, ref, here's the ball. Man. It was pretty easy. Did I play hard in all 4 scenarios? Absolutely, I played hard, but it just hits different, man. It's just different. It's just different.
Josh Heupel had some comments I wanted to share from Vol Calls, if that's okay with you. He had some interesting.
For sure, man. Anytime the head coach got something to say and it's good, let's hear it.
Yeah, and you typically hear the head coach open up a little bit more on Vol Calls because he understands the setting and that fans are in attendance and fans listening. Not that they don't to regular press conferences, but
this ain't Central Florida.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives a little more info and personality on Vol Calls for sure. With the penalties, he said that they were very uncharacteristic and they were disappointed with how they conducted themselves. Said there's always officials at practice, and when Bob Kessling had asked him if penalties had been an issue at times in practice, Heupel said no. He felt like because the game was so important, guys were pressing too much.
I mean, you think about 2 of the penalties that was 30 yards. The Jeremy Banks body slam, and then the Cade Mays hit at the play. Like, you ain't hitting in practice like that. Mm-mm. So that eliminates those 2 penalties right there because you're not tackling during the weekend practice. And then, I'm thinking about some of the other penalties that we had. PI. I mean,
Warren Burrell pulled him to the ground. I know Tillman got OPI, offensive pass interference, and he should have been called for that.
Yeah. He throw was inside and low.
Yeah, the guy Tillman pulled him to the ground or pushed him, whatever. Didn't Warren Burrell get called for defensive pass interference? I think he did.
And the ball's thrown out of bounds, uncatchable.
No, that was Flowers. When Flowers tripped
right.
up, the feet got tangled.
That was such a terrible call.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had a couple of PIs that
kind of fluky ones.
You had 4 penalties that equaled 60 yards.
How often do you see offensive pass interference? Not a ton. I mean, it's not rare.
You see it more than it's called.
That is true.
Let's just say that. You see it more than it's called. But
Jay Wade will appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, forget DBs. I can't stand them. But they don't call it unless it is obvious. And in that case, it was obvious against Tillman.
It was. And like the Darnell Wright one was fluky to me. Cade kind of stands up and claps his hands, and Darnell thinks that it's the quarterback clapping his hands. That to me was a little fluky. There were some fluky penalties for Tennessee. Now, it is a huge concern because you go look at UCF's penalty stats under Heupel, and they don't inspire a ton of confidence. But something to monitor going forward. They only had, I believe, 4 penalties in the first game.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up right now. See how many penalties they had in the first game. And that's something
it was 4. So
yeah, that's something that when Tennessee was starting with the Butch Jones regime, Tennessee was one of the best teams in the SEC at not getting penalized. And
I'd love to let you know about it too.
Yeah, for sure, and it was important. It was very important. And I mean, to beat anybody else, the first thing you got to do is not beat yourself. So we had 5 penalties for 45 yards, so not terrible. But.
No.
All right.
I liked what Heupel had to say about special teams.
Okay.
He said it was critical because all of the skills you learn translates to offense and defense, and that they brought in someone from the Denver Broncos, and this person from the Broncos told the team that unless you're a first-round pick, you're not going to make a team if you can't play special teams. And guys have bought into that. So I really liked that. And then a quick injury update, because like I said earlier, he went into a little more detail on vol calls. He did say the same thing about the starting quarterback situation as he did on the SEC teleconference earlier in the day, that both Hendon and Joe have been working this week and that he expects a high level of play, whoever is out there, but that Milton's status is still a question mark. And then he said there's no certainty with the health of the running backs going into Tennessee Tech. Said Tyon Evans and Jabari Small have been moving around, but their availability remains a question mark. Cooper Mays is, quote, starting to get on the grass and be with us, but that they don't know if it's the best thing to play him Saturday against Tennessee Tech. So that told me that Cooper is not going to play. And then the last thing that I really liked from Heupel and vol calls, he said it's important to play in-state teams. Not only he didn't say this, but not only are you keeping the money in the state, but he likes that because when you play Tennessee Tech, there's a lot of people tied in to UT. Guys grew up dreaming of playing for Tennessee, or families that are Tennessee fans, and he thinks it's really awesome to give people across the state of Tennessee with ties to the University of Tennessee a chance to either play in Neyland or watch them play in Neyland. I thought that was really cool that Heupel thought it was important to play in-state teams like this weekend.
I agree. No, I agree. Why give that money to a program outside the state when you can give it to someone right here? So I agree. What are you talking about, Rodney? What are you talking about, Rodney and Allstate? What you talking about? We'll read what Rodney and others put on the text box. Neela Mafia, Rodney and Allstate. We'll get to the text box right there on your free Swain Event app. You can ask questions, comment, any point during the show. We'll get to the text box when we return. So stay with us. Be right back.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty.
They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks, business internet and voice that you can count on. You start your relationship with Iris Networks, 90 days that you will get without payment. Fiber, internet, and voice. Tennessee business, connecting Tennessee businesses. And we like to highlight positivity during this segment. Ben, what you got?
I've got two Atta Girls.
That was weird.
Today. I know. He was doing that for a couple minutes now.
Maybe that was Sterl DJing remotely. I don't know. That was weird.
I think. Did you give Kenny access to the
yeah.
spots over the weekend when you saw him?
Oh yeah, that's right. Kenny, DJ Ken Dog.
That's right.
All right, what we got?
I got two Atta Girls. Over the weekend, Maya Chaka became the first black woman to officiate an NFL game. So, Atta girl to Maya.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely. And then Lisa Byington has become the first female full-time TV play-by-play announcer for a major men's professional sports team for the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have hired Lisa to be their play-by-play announcer.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I love to hear stories like these, man. The breakthrough stories, breaking down barriers. I love it, man. So, congratulations.
Yeah, shout out to Lisa and Maya.
For sure, man. For sure. Good stuff for
whose last names I can't pronounce.
Well, Byington. I know how to pronounce Byington from, that's going to be the Bucks. I saw her story there on Sports Center. So that's really, really cool. Really, really, really cool. Man, this USC job sure is getting a lot of attention.
How long before it gets tiresome?
I just feel bad for those players. I told you this yesterday after the show. Will you have a coach fired mid-season, and now all the talk is about who's going to be the next coach, and that just tells you like how high profile that job is, because that's all you see on television right now. But I feel bad for the players because it's a distraction, man. They still playing. They are still playing, and you're trying to focus on the opponent this week, but in the back of your head, you're thinking about, all right, who's going to be my coach next year, and what does that mean for my future? It's just a distraction. So, and I feel bad for those players.
Well, I also feel bad for them in the sense that the coaching staff, the individual assistant coaches, their future is in flux. So how much are they going to be locked in to focusing on these young men when their future is in doubt? You don't know what's around the corner. And I know you still handle yourself professionally and whatever, but like still, like I mean, it's I guarantee you there could be a coach or two that's more concerned about their future and what's next for them than helping the players on the field.
Yeah, I mean, most of those guys will be at new places. You know, there may be some holdover, but I doubt if it's more than one or two coaches. But most of those guys will be on the move. And as a coach at that level, you kind of understand that you're going to be moving around a lot. You know that your career is going to be another 10 years or so, or 15 years, depending on the age of the coach. But as a player, like you only get 4 years to play. You only get 4 years. As a coach, you're like, well, I mean, hey, I'll go somewhere else, get a big check. As long as I'm coaching, I'm good. I'm about to get this buyout, so hey, whatever. About to get paid twice. You hate it for those kids of those coaches because now they have to move and go make new friends, things like that. They never asked to be a coach's kid and have to change schools as much. So let's see. What's y'all's thought on the baseball schedule? And is there any progress on the stadium that we're going to be able to see this upcoming season?
What's your thoughts on the baseball schedule, Swain?
Hey, man, I was looking for LSU and Arkansas. That's what I was looking for.
Vol Baseball let you know.
Now, I'll let them know what I expect to be seeing.
Tennessee's conference schedule was released yesterday. The non-conf or the entire schedule has not yet been released because Tennessee is still trying to lock in some midweek games and get those final details sorted out. But they're almost done finalizing that. But the conference schedule, the road series that Tennessee has to play is pretty brutal. The road series consists of Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Florida, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. So Kentucky kind of the only one of those five that aren't legitimate powers in the SEC. But at home it gets a little easier. South Carolina, Missouri, Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia. Tennessee will start conference play March 18th against South Carolina at home. So the first time during the Tony Vitello era that Tennessee starts conference play at home. He kind of complained about it last year. He wasn't too happy about having to go on the road to start conference play yet again. And what do you know? The SEC listened, and Tennessee starts at home to begin conference play. And in regards to the stadium, I think most of the work being done on the stadium right now is the underbelly, what you can't really see, where the players roam and get better and hang out and all that fun stuff is, I think, the priority this offseason. And then as the years progress, hopefully Tennessee will continue to expand the seating and take care of what Tony Vitello wants and so on and so forth. But I do think you'll see the temporary bleachers that you saw in the tournament out there throughout the season.
Fake Bob Kessler says 90% of the talk has been about quarterbacks this week. I want to ask about the safety play. Is it me, or has both of our safeties been hit or miss in those first two games? I think it was Flowers, but late in that Pitt game, he had a chance to make a big tackle behind the line of scrimmage and just missed badly. I mean, I wouldn't say hit or miss. I mean, I thought Theo has been good. Trayvon hasn't allowed any big plays over his head or had any significant busts.
What about keeping it strictly to Trayvon and Jalen McCullough, Tennessee's two starting safeties? Because I do think it's been hit or miss at times. I think they've made some plays, but as Willie Martinez said earlier this week, I think they've also left some plays on the field. I would like to see Tennessee try to avoid allowing Jalen McCullough to get matched up in the slot with a slot receiver because his athleticism does not do him any favors. And Pitt was able to find a way to get that matchup a couple of times, and he's missed a couple of tackles. So I agree. I think it's been hit or miss.
You don't want a safety on the receiver in any situation.
Unless it's Eric Berry or Tyrann Mathieu or Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams jumping over the line.
Yeah. I'll have to pay attention more to it didn't jump off the screen or jump off the field to me that it was hit or miss. I just understand that, man, you're not gonna make every play, and the guys that other side are good too. They're gonna make plays, and when I think hit or miss, I think like, all right, making a big play, and then missing a play that's big for the other team, and I didn't see that. But if you talk about in terms of just small plays being made here and then small plays not being made, I guess you can say hit or miss. But when I hear hit and miss, I think of like, all right, they're making big plays, but they're also giving up the big plays.
Yeah, that's fair. We haven't seen them give up the big explosive play. We haven't seen that yet, but there have been plenty of missed tackles. And I asked Willie Martinez his thoughts on his safeties through the first two games, and this is my opinion of how I interpreted the way he was answering the question. I thought that he was trying to find positive things to say. That was my perception of just kind of how he was answering the question and what he was saying. It seemed like he was trying to really talk slowly and make sure that he said positive things. And he admitted that there's been plays left on the field that Trayvon and Jalen would admit to you that they need to make, and that they've also made some plays. So I do think that is a concern going up against some of these better teams moving forward, is the inconsistency at safety so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's the second game of the season. I mean, it's really what every team is going through right now. You want to be playing your best ball in October, November, but I mean it's September. So yeah, like there should be a lot of things that need to be corrected. It doesn't mean you're not making good plays and you're not playing well at times, but a coach should be pointing out all the things that you need to improve on, privately. And then publicly, you have your players back. You protect your players as long as they're playing hard and having a good attitude. You don't throw anybody under the bus, but behind the scenes, absolutely, man. I remember when Robert Meacham went for 200-something yards against Cal in the first game. You think Troop was like, all right, Meach, you take this video session off, man. We don't have any critiques for you. Critiquing him the most. What about the other 60 plays? So yeah, everyone's getting critiqued, man. Everyone. This is the stage of the season where you're gonna be making mistakes. And again, this is the second game in a brand new offense and brand new defense. So yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, we've seen Heupel and pretty much every coach that I've talked to the media do the same thing that you feel like Willie was doing, which is making sure that there's a positive message about his players, but behind the scenes, like, hey, like when Cody talked about the receivers, and Cody mentioned a receiver saying, hey man, he can be as good as he wants to be. That's code for that receiver needs to work harder. I know what that code. I know what that means.
That he's not handling all of his business.
Yeah, that's what that means. So, you want to protect your guys and have your guys back, but man, you can't be a flat out liar either. So, there's a little mixture of both, and this is the time of the season where like everyone has tons of things they need to work on and improve. All right, I lied last segment about going to a text box. It was Ben's fault. I'm really going to the text box after this break. Stay with us.
the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Smitty22 on the text box says, good morning, brothers. Man, I'm glad I can get this show while vacationing in Florida. My in-laws are wearing my butt out. The Florida Gators. God bless you. Man, that stinks. You got to deal with Gator in-laws. That stinks. LC Vol says, I don't know if it's the linebackers or safety, but the middle of the field seems like a problem. At this point, when the other team throws it to the middle, I expect it to be open. Yeah, I mean, linebackers got to do a really good job of identifying crossers, and, you know, maybe defensively you have someone that you so like in a man-to-man coverage, you would have a safety, and I don't know if we at this point where we can actually play this type of defense where you can go cover one and play the safety in kind of like a robber situation where he just focuses on crossing routes, digs, and shallow crosses, and he jumps them. And while you leave guys on the outside, one-on-one coverage, vulnerable, and have a single high safety. I don't know if we're at that point defensively, but that would try to eliminate crossing routes. You can also have a linebacker be responsible for that and be a cutter and, you know, stop some of those crossing routes. So there's things you can do, but it's helpful when you have pass rush. So the problem is you don't have a pass rush that can generate pressure on the quarterback to not have that much time. But the problem is the pass rush has not been where it needed to be for a couple of years, so you have to play softer. Because if you play man-to-man and put pressure on the receivers on the outside, but then the quarterback has all day to throw the ball, I mean, you're setting up those DBs to fail. So I think it starts with a pass rush. But, yeah, I mean, the middle of the football field, you know, was open last game, and
if you are Tennessee Tech, if you're Florida, if you're the team playing Tennessee, you're going to see the middle of the football field as an area that you can exploit because you have seen Pittsburgh do the same thing this past week. CJ Vaughn says Charles and teammate might be younger players, but they have way more upside. Got to get them ready to go.
It would not surprise me if towards the end of the season, Christian Charles finds himself in the starting lineup at safety.
Fastest player on the team.
I think he's more athletic.
Yeah.
And
if he's the fastest player on the team, you better believe he's more
he's
athletic.
not the fastest player on the team. Deshaun Rucker's the fastest.
Rucker, I keep thinking.
But Charles is one of the fastest.
I got those two mixed up
on the team for sure. I like McCullough, but I think his lack of athleticism gets him in trouble far too often. And he would be the one that I think Charles would replace before Flowers, but McCullough is also more suited for the run game, to go up against the run as a bigger guy than Christian Charles. So would Charles be able to fill that particular safety spot? That would be my only question. But even though Tank is built more like a tank than a Christian Charles, he still misses tackles. So just because he's built like a tank and his body looks better suited to go up against the run, doesn't really matter if you're going to miss tackles when you have a chance to make a play. So I don't know how Christian Charles would be against the run. We just haven't seen enough of Tamarion McDonald to know how he would do in those situations. Willie Martinez talked he and Christian Charles up this week, talking about how they've performed really well on special teams and Slaughter as well, and Danico Slaughter, and those three, Slaughter, McDonald, Charles, have played really well on special teams, and now they're starting to build some confidence, and he's starting to see that in the limited snaps that they get in the game or their reps at practice. He's starting to see them get better. He talked about Danico Slaughter only playing 6 defensive snaps against Pittsburgh, but on 5 of the 6 defensive snaps, Slaughter didn't make the play, but he did something on the play to help somebody else make the play. Yes. He affected the play in a positive way to where one of his teammates could make a play. And so he said that Slaughter's been doing really well, and just it hasn't really done anything that shows up on the stat sheet, but that he's been pleased with Slaughter. So I do think that McCullough and Flowers need a sense of urgency to them, because it seems like there's 3 youngins coming right behind them.
Where's that? Where will those youngins earn that playing time? They earn it from the practice field, right? So, like, as they continue to get acclimated and comfortable with the defense and playing at this level and being locked in, being consistent, knowing where to go, as they get more comfortable doing that as the season goes along, they're probably going to get more reps. And if they continue to flash on special teams and they make plays in the limited amount of plays that they are getting in on defense, and the other guys are not, then you'll start to see those reps kind of shift and balance. So that's what happens, man. That's what happens. You know, my freshman year, I didn't play at all really the first game. I played in the fourth quarter, and then I played more next game. And then once I proved that I can handle it, then I played starter reps for the rest of my career. So that could be the case for these young players. And I know Terry McDonald is not a true freshman, but he is still a young player as a sophomore. And last year was just a weird year for all freshmen, to be honest. So he still, I look at those guys that played last year in the COVID year, I look at them as basically redshirt freshmen or freshmen. So
Tamarion McDonald, according to Pruitt. Well, Tamarion McDonald.
Oh, man. All right. Let me get back to the text box.
Pruitt still hasn't learned how to pronounce Chris Akporogene's name. Akporgini.
Danny B says, what is the big difference in the college game today compared to when you played? Were you able to play the same? Would you be able to play the same way you did before? The difference is the targeting, man. The targeting for me is the biggest difference. The cut blocking rules have changed a little bit too. So that's probably the two biggest things that, kind of jump off the page, so to speak, or first come to mind is just the rule changes. And then, like, the social media aspect of it too. That's different, man. That is different. That is something else, man. I don't know if I would be on Twitter during the season. I probably would have to go dark 30 during the season, to be honest.
All right, LeBron.
I wouldn't want to see it. Yep. I would want to see that stuff.
I would delete it off my phone.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would not be looking at that stuff.
It's amazing, and I'm going to go on a little soapbox. It is a societal issue, and I'm not talking just about Tennessee fans. The handful of Tennessee fans that paint everybody in a bad light. It is a societal issue because fans going over the top towards players and coaches is just ridiculous at every at the college level, at the professional level, in every sport, regardless of team. I mean, it happens everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. It's and to me, it's a reflection on where we are as a society, and just how negative everything is, and everybody's got to pop off these jokes so they can get retweets and likes on social media, so that they can have their little 5 minutes of fame on social media because they clowned a player or a coach.
Like if you made a comment, this is the rule I live by on social media. Like, I don't say anything unless I know I'm willing to say it to someone's face.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't push send unless I ask myself, will I say the same thing if this person's standing right in front of me? If that's the case, then I would push send. That's my rule for myself. Vol Guy 78 says, do you think Callaway will have a bigger role when we play Florida?
He better.
Absolutely. He will have a bigger role because first game he didn't play because, coming back from, injury. And this game, I thought he was limping a little bit, but he still made a huge play, had 50-something yards. I think he had like 4 catches, 50-something yards. And so when you have one of your starting receivers struggling, like Tennessee has with Jalen Hyatt, you got Callaway that's in position to emerge as a starter. So, yeah, I think he will have a bigger role for sure, 100%.
He better. That's all I know.
Yeah.
He and Valus.
Gus Shores Vol says, does the adrenaline of being in Inland Stadium begin to tone down the more games you play, or does it stay the same? I wonder if Milton stop overthrowing as he settles in again to playing on a big stage. I would hope so. I mean, I can't speak to that because I haven't played quarterback at Tennessee, so I wouldn't know what it's like to have to make a throw with touch when you have all this adrenaline running. Like, for me at receiver, like, my adrenaline would be, I would channel my adrenaline to the running game and wanting to go knock a dude down when the play is going away. Like, that's how I would use my adrenaline. But as a quarterback, yeah, I wouldn't know. You might have to ask a quarterback about that. Justin says, hey, guys, just out of curiosity, Basilio had a guy that said last year Pruitt chewed his team out at Georgia halftime, and that's why he lost the team. Just wondering your thoughts about that. I don't really have much thoughts about that. I mean, Pruitt always was at his team. Was, challenging his team. And Yeah, I just don't have any thoughts about it. Camden, Tennessee Vols says Banks is special at linebacker. Need him to continue developing there for sure. For sure. I don't like moving guys, moving their positions here and there. There's no reason. No reason. Leo from Hardin Valley says, why would Bray and Arian talk about receiving cash at Tennessee? It just hurts their school that is already in deep doo-doo. How, Leo? How has Arian or Bray talk about receiving cash at Tennessee? How has it hurt Tennessee? Has it done anything?
Nobody's even
it does
really
nothing.
And Arian gets joked on all the time for his comments about the tacos, but Tyler Bray went on some podcast and talked about getting paid at Tennessee, and barely anybody is talking about it. This is the first time it's been mentioned on the show.
No one cares. No one cares anymore about, okay, you got paid this amount, you got paid this when you play. Like, everyone is coming out and saying stuff. Like, Johnny Manziel came out and said some stuff. Like, no one cares. Nothing happened to Tennessee. Leo, like, nothing happened. So how did it hurt the school? Where did you see that Tennessee was investigated based on Arian's comments? Now, it's it was a little bit of a distraction for Butch, I remember at the time, but, like, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nobody got in trouble during Butch's time recruiting, and Butch recruited very well. And you put two and two together, like, everybody crosses the line in recruiting, so nothing happened. But I do think it tells us where we are when a guy like Tyler Bray can come out and say, yeah, I was getting money. And, like, nobody stopped and made anything about it. 5 years, 10 years ago, it would have been the first story on ESPN. In Tyler Bray's case, it would have been like the first story in Knoxville radio or newspaper. Like, no one cares. Nelson says, good thing Swain didn't have social media back then. He would have been trying to meet people at Gate 21.
Like who?
Like Andy is what Nelson said. I didn't really get crap. I didn't even really get crap. I mean, I feel like I did my job, made plays. Now I would have been upset probably because I would have seen other guys getting talked bad about, and see my teammates being talked bad about. But
so you would have been the Brian Maurer.
I would have been telling telling fans that it's not their team. They need to shut up and cheer. Which is something I totally disagree with. I totally disagree with any notion that fans should not, voice their opinion about what they are seeing, good or bad. But do understand that the coaches do this for a living, and the players are putting in the work. I mean, I do understand that, but hey, man, you see guys not making plays in the game, you can say, hey, he's not making plays in the game. You don't have to be a former player to notice that. But there are times when people make comments and they have absolutely no freaking clue what they're talking about because they haven't played. That happens too. No
comment.
Man, listen, it happens. All right, let's get to the phones and let's go to Volstorm. Volstorm, good morning.
As somebody once said, I don't have to be a chef to know that the food sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So you will never hear me tell fans that just because, you didn't play, you can keep your mouth closed.
Guys, are we overreacting
to
the fact that we've only played 2 games?
Yes.
We played 2 games.
Yes.
We haven't even played SEC competition.
Yes. We are overreacting. We are overanalyzing. There is some carryover of frustration from previous regimes and previous years.
Yeah, we call that PMS.
Correct. Pruitt malpractice syndrome, right? You said that yesterday.
Yes, that is correct.
Or we can use a P for previous coaches malpractice syndrome. You can use that too. But the answer to your question is yeah. I mean, for sure.
Well, it's just, I hear a lot of people, of course, critiquing this, critiquing that. This quarterback needs to start, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, we're 2 games in. I mean, I expected Milton, especially the first game, to go out there and overthrow receivers. He's hyped up. It's a new place. It's a new start.
Did you expect his overthrows against Pittsburgh? All 8 of them?
No. And look, I'm the type I don't care who plays quarterback. I just want to win. I could care less. It could be Milton. It could be Hendon Hooker. It could be Harrison Bailey. It could be, a defensive player going out there running the Wildcat the whole damn time. I don't care.
I'm with you.
I think people just get so hung up on, and I know what it is. It's everything's been so bad the past few years that everybody wants immediate results, and it's just not going to happen.
So who would you start against Tennessee Tech on Saturday?
Oh gosh.
Which quarterback graded out the best?
I don't know. I'm not privy to those answers.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Then it's kind of hard to answer that question.
To your naked eye, Volstorm, who would you start at quarterback against Tennessee Tech?
I would probably, based upon performance, I don't know. I think I'd still throw Milton out there.
I don't blame anybody for thinking that.
Or blame anybody for wanting to throw out Hendon.
I wouldn't blame anybody for throwing out Hendon either.
Yep.
It's kind of right now, until we start seeing them progress, it's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah. I want to see I was going to say I want to see them against Florida, but ideally you're not going to play 2 quarterbacks against Florida. So I guess I'm really interested to see how either or looks against Florida.
Hey, they could do like Gruden did against the Ravens the other night and have Hooker out there running the Mariota plays.
Well, let's hope not, because Mariota got hurt and is out like a good chunk of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see two quarterbacks against Florida.
Because of game plan going in, or because of poor play?
Just because.
Or because of injury.
But because I don't know how much separation there is between Hendon and Milton right now. And I don't know how much they're going to separate this week. And I don't know how much they're going to separate next week of practice for Florida. And so because of the lack of separation, that was very clear in fall camp, because Hendon, had a stretch where he, threw a couple, but like more than anyone else, interceptions. It made it clear. But now in the first 2 games, I think Hendon has kind of shortened the gap and closed the gap, and I can see where both guys will play.
Well,
and that ideally is not what you want to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see it. Not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised.
No, and like Ben said, there's the only thing you're going to learn against Tennessee Tech are bad things.
Mm-hmm.
If we go out there and blow the doors off and play well, it's going to be, well, that's what we expected you to do. Well, it's against Tennessee Tech. If you go out there and stink up the joint, then hell, the damn fan base will implode.
Will it implode, though, if nobody's actually there to see it?
Well, there'll be about, 50,000 people.
C-Mac on text box says, is Volstorm sick? Because he's sounding a little quiet. You setting things up for the outro.
Yeah. Well,
he's just
hey
getting
guys,
soft.
before I go, listening to people call in with their comments, there's nothing like a so-called expert calling in saying that the third-string quarterback needs to start because he's seen his practice highlights. See you, boys!
Text box is humming.
Now, Swain, I will tell you this, going back to our conversation yesterday. I heard yesterday that there wasn't a distinct difference in turnovers amongst the three quarterbacks in fall camp. That it was kind of all three having their fair share of turnovers.
Okay. Say so.
I do say so. If I do say so myself. We'll see how it plays out. I see the pros and cons to playing Hooker or Milton. I don't blame the coaching staff for wanting to stick with Milton because he does have a lot of talent. And if he can find a rhythm, then he can be a game changer. There's no debating that. So I don't necessarily blame the coaching staff for wanting to try to find that rhythm. I just have the belief that he just kind of is what he is at this point.
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong.
Connor from Georgia says, will Tennessee Tech beat Bowling Green? I don't think they would. I think Bowling Green will win that game.
Yes.
Do you think Tennessee has opened up the playbook yet? Seems very reserved. Guys, I think that's what you're going to see. There may be some things here and there that you will scheme and game plan based on the defense you see or the offense that you see, but you're not going to see a large catalog of plays because you have to go so fast. You're just reacting off what the defense is doing, and you're reading the defense, and you want to do it fast. So quote-unquote opening the playbook, it's not like we're on chapter 1 and there's like a 10-chapter book and it's like, oh man, got all these 9 chapters that we can get to, but we just haven't opened it up yet. No, I mean, you just have reactions or a set of plays that you have counters built in that, depending on the opponent, you're going to use these counter plays this week, but you may not use them next week because your opponent is different. So if you're playing against a team that's really aggressive on bubble screens, then okay, this is the week that we say, all right, it's time to look at running some fake bubble screens. And our blocker, we slip him out along the sideline because this team plays those aggressively, whereas another team doesn't play them as aggressive because they don't want to get hit over the top. They just want to, fight the block and make the tackle. So it doesn't mean that you open the playbook more because, you saw this fake bubble screen being ran this week. That just means that the opponent kind of determined if you're going to, run these counters this week. So
the whole couple of new nuances with like the fake quarterback draw and tossing it to Jacob Warren down the field. You're not going to see wholehearted changes and like brand new plays or formations. It's going to be like nuanced motions and fakes and
the wrinkles.
Yeah,
it's just little wrinkles.
Yeah,
but little counters.
I think you'll see some trick plays against Florida. At least one or two.
You need
just like Butch, or it was 15 Bajakian, or was that DeBoard? DeBoard was 15 when he broke out that double pass from Juwan to Dobbs. I think you'll see that at some point this season.
Come on, Ben, man. Don't alert the Gators. Don't alert them.
I said I think.
Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Hiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you. Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. You like that, Ben? Restaurant?
No.
You would like it if I invited you to go Dead End for lunch? Say, hey, man, on me, let's go Dead End. You would like that, wouldn't you?
I'm booked.
Oh, cool. All right, that's fine. You pay for your own Dead End then. You can be booked. I went with my kids yesterday. We was waiting.
And you didn't call me?
I was booked. Yeah, my youngest too, man. We were waiting on my oldest one. Got out of school because she gets out of school 45 minutes after the youngest ones. And so we just had a little time to burn. So I said, you know what? Let's go hang out there. Yeah. We were sitting at the bar. All right, I need a beer. Root beer for the other two. No, I'm just kidding. We all got waters.
Root beer is the GOAT. Ugh. Root beer, severely underrated.
Yeah,
root beer is probably my favorite soda.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I have, ever since I was a kid, I have loved root beer. It has always been my go-to. If I could have one soda over the rest of them, one soda for the rest of my life, it would be root beer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really do soda like that, so I don't have an opinion.
You're not a big soda guy. As I've gotten older and fatter, I've also tried to not be a big soda guy like that.
Yeah. Brandon B says, does Milton lose his job due to injury? I think we should start him, but the leash is shorter on him. Yeah, I mean that's a fair take right there, and you're not supposed to lose your job to injury, but it happens. It happens. The second guy comes in and he is flawless. Man, it is what it is. Jacob Eason lost his job because of injury. Yeah, that's not like a written in stone rule. But man, you trying to win. And if a guy's playing lights out after replacing the backup, you got to roll. The thing is, Hendon wasn't lights out. He was just better, but he wasn't lights out. So I don't know what Hyper's going to do, man. Again, I don't envy his decision. I understand it's a tougher decision, short term and long term. I think people are trying to make this thing easy, and it's not. It's not an easy decision for Hyper. I do understand that, but let's see what else is on the text box. Swain, what was your favorite route to run? I don't know. I guess I was really good at I was really good at running comebacks and curls and things like that, because it required me to get up to a certain speed and to be able to stop and change directions, and that was one of my strongest attributes. So I would say any of the intermediate routes, like a curl, dig, comeback, things like that, where I had an opportunity to kind of get DBs running and then stop on the dime. That was what I was good at. C-Mac, I think, has a message for you. Ben?
I'm not acknowledging trash takes on the text box this morning.
C-Mac says,
just a horrific take.
Ben says, your take is trash, C-Mac. QC Rodney says, just put them both out there at the same time. Just kidding, unless I'm not.
Yeah, let Milton line up at tight end.
I don't think Princeton Fant and Jacob Warren will be happy about that. All this waiting we have done, we waited our turn. We finally get 9 balls together.
All these damn positions y'all made me play. That's what Princeton Fant would say.
Exactly.
Linebacker,
fullback. We gonna be the only
back,
2 tight ends up in here.
End.
Leo says that his point was that Bray and Arian is, why would you say something that could hurt? It didn't, but it could. Why risk when you've already a laughingstock in college football? Well, Arian's, I talked to Arian when he did that. I called him on the phone. And the thing about Arian is that the dude did research and talked to a lawyer and knew that because of statute of limitations, Tennessee wasn't going to get in trouble. Like, Arian did do the research. And Arian's thing was not because he had a problem with Tennessee, but he had a problem with the NCAA. And he knew that he had a platform that if he said something, it would gain attention. And look, everybody's taking shots at NCAA now. So it's, everyone's basically saying what Arian said, but that's what happened. That's why Arian said what he said. It wasn't because he didn't like Tennessee. It was because he disliked the NCAA and he wanted to call them out. So he did his research. That's why he said it. That's why he said it. Leo from Hardin Valley says, for the Bailey crowd, Jack Jansen did great in the orange and white game. So why isn't he getting reps?
Oops.
Brandon B says, it's super wild that people are on Twitter putting clips of the spring game to make a case for Harrison Bailey to be the starter. I legit seen 2 clips of him breaking the pocket, and the caption was, I don't want to hear he can't run the ball. Tony says, social media gets people in trouble. Can you imagine back in the day going up to Al Wilson talking smack like they do now? Well, they don't go up to anybody and talk smack because they do it on Twitter. They do it on social media. So they don't go up to anyone and say the things that they said on social media to anyone's face. But I wouldn't imagine being able to watch Al Wilson play and even have the gonads to even tweet something at him. Because it wouldn't have been about his play unless he missed a tackle. But I couldn't imagine saying anything to him, period, even if it was on social media. But yeah, social media is just a different ball game, man. When you insert it in sports, you see at the pro level how disrespectful people are, and people just seem like they're meaner now. Like, just the common courtesy and the willingness to empathize and say nice things to each other and be a blessing to others. Like it just seems like it's not as important as it used to be. But anyways, back to sports. Let's see.
Stick to sports, Swain.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Let's see. I'm going to go over here, make sure we're getting all the messages read. I'm not suiting up to play for Tennessee. I'm almost 40, man.
Why not?
I'm almost 40. Blackout Jones says, ask Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, he lost his starting job to injury. Wow. That might have been the worst case right there of losing your job because of injury. because Tom Brady has not looked back since. Yep, that's a good point, Blackout Jones. No one understands that quote from Michael Jordan. He was talking about all the jerseys hanging in the rafters at the Dean Smith Center. He says the ceiling is the roof. It was a bad analogy. Preston Lindsay says on YouTube, it's not like it's one or two passes trying to knock the rust off. It's every deep ball he throws is overthrown. Has a receiver caught one of his deep balls in stride yet? Nope, not yet. But again, like Cody Burns said, and like other coaches have said, not all the deep balls have been all on just the quarterback. So there's no doubt that they got to be, some of those passes got to be better. Milton has to be better, but the receivers got to be better in what they are doing as well.
Everybody got to be better.
Preston says the only reason Milton is starting is because it's hard to have a 6'4", 240-pound quarterback on the bench. That's not the only reason, Preston. You don't get starting job because of how you look in your measurables. That's not the way it works, man. That is not. Mixer says we are not overreacting whatsoever. Last year, fans were apparently overreacting too. We don't know who our starting quarterback is, and we don't have long until we play Florida. Fans have fair concern. Well, Mixer, you may not be seeing some of the things that Volstorm has seen. So you may not be overreacting, but Volstorm may have just a different view of some of the reaction. So it's fair that you have your viewpoint and Volstorm has his viewpoint. Because what I have seen and what I have heard is a lot of carryover from the disgust that these fans have for JG. I see it carrying it over for Milton. And in 2 games for Milton, I don't think it's fair. Not saying that Milton has been great or that Milton doesn't deserve criticism, but some of the the same just nastiness I saw from JG, you see it towards the quarterbacks right now. And I don't think these guys deserve that after 2 games. JG had years that built up to what was just the fatigue and just tired of looking at them. And I don't think these 2 quarterbacks deserve that, or Milton deserves that because he's only been here, just for a few months. He's only played 2 games. So it's all about perspective, Mixer. You see something different based on how you go out, live your day and comments you see, and Volstorm just sees different comments. That can happen. 865-255-03. We will take a quick timeout and return with our last segment of the day here on the program. My goodness, man, tomorrow is going to be Ticket Friday. We got 2 tickets we're gonna give out tomorrow. My goodness, man, we already week 3. Monday we'll have 3 games under our belt already, man. Week is flying by, man. The season is 1/4 over after this week. I think that's right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone.
Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Let's go to the phones before we wrap up today's show. Hope you are having a great morning. Thursday, September the 16th. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. So looking forward to tomorrow. We'll give out some tickets. Got 6 tickets to give out tomorrow, so we'll do that, man. Fox Fall's waiting patiently. Fox Fall, good morning.
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. Just out here enjoying this lovely East Tennessee weather. Nobody got washed away in my county. Nobody's riding on telephone poles in the river or anything like that. Did you all happen to see that a couple of weeks ago?
No, sir.
Yeah, there was a guy in my county. I don't know who it was, but Jennifer Morris texted me and said, "That wasn't you, was it?" This guy was like buck naked on the telephone pole in a river.
No, I didn't see that, man. Jim,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, we should have got some video, man. That would have been funny to see.
No, they got a picture of it.
I don't know that I want to see.
No, you don't see everything, but you just see this guy on this raft, like a homemade raft. It was
I don't
weird.
want to see anything.
No, it was weird. Anyway, calling in, had a question, Swain. You've been around a lot of different quarterbacks, and you know the game about as well as anybody can know it, pretty much. Question I had was, with any type of athlete, actually with a lot of people in general, they have rituals that they go by. And by that I mean, habits, things that get you in the flow, get you in the rhythm, and such. And looking at different positions on the field, the other question I had was about kind of the psychology of the game. And whereas a quarterback, from my understanding, the psychology would be different. How you think, how you react, your personality. You take a guy like Carson Palmer years ago when he came into the league. They did a profile on him, and they said that the thing about him, he had a great arm, can make all the throws, but when the pressure hit, he would actually kind of develop tunnel vision. And so he would be more likely to throw a pick or to not see the field completely. When you look at things like that, take a guy like Hendon Hooker, who's a runner. Have you ever noticed that when you have a quarterback like that who has to run and throw, all of his life he's probably played that position, or at least for several years, have you noticed, like, they kind of need to be able to freely run to kind of set up the pass, almost like a crutch or a pick-me-up, so to speak. Maybe that's why Dobbs looked a little better in games than he did practice, because that part of his game wasn't able to be fully on display. And when the bullets hit and start flying, you kind of find out who somebody really is. What was it Mike Tyson said? Everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth. Right.
Yeah.
Am I making sense? Is that kind of, you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I'm trying to follow you. I ain't gonna lie, I am a little confused. As far as Hooker, you're saying that running gives him the momentum or the confidence or the juice or to make
like
throws.
The rhythm, pretty
the
much.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could. It could. But short throws can do that too. Short throws can do that too, whether it's bubble screens or a hitch route or, slant. So, it just depends. I mean, this is 2 games that this staff has had Hendon. So they're learning tendencies about each quarterback. They practice with these guys for about 4 or 5 weeks, but they've only played with these quarterbacks 2 games. So now they have to go back and say, all right, what is actually translating from the practice field to the game field? Like, who's better at doing this? What do we need to do to help this player be better as a passer or as a decision maker or prepare, or, how do we put them in better situations to run? Asking Milton to possibly make runs where he got change directions. That's not his strong suit. So he does look like, he doesn't want to be hit because he's big and he can't stop and start like Hooker. So now you've had 2 games under your belt where you've had these guys play. And so now you can say, all right, this is how we can help these guys be more successful. Thanks for the phone call, Fox Vol. I answered someone here on YouTube who's like, better route runner isn't going to make up the distance, overthrowing receivers 1 to 3 feet possibly, but overthrowing 3 to 5 yards. I don't care if you're running a perfect route. And this is like wrong. It's a wrong take, because we're talking 3 yards. That's 1 step. If you're running as a receiver, go watch a receiver run and open their stride up.
It's like a stride and a half.
It's 1 stride. It's 1 step. So if you are slowing down at any point looking for the ball too early, that's the difference between a ball being dropped in the breadbasket over your shoulder and the difference between the ball dropping 3 to 5 yards in front of you. So again, I've said it. You've seen coaches say it. Not every throw that Milton has thrown over the receiver has been on Milton.
You said it perfectly earlier this week. It's a and.
It's a and.
Not a or.
Yeah, it's
not taking up for Milton. I hope nobody gets that from this, but just explaining that everybody needs to be better.
Yeah.
Because if Milton's throws were on point, like, the receivers have still been struggling through 2 games. They have not performed well through the first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it again because we didn't really go in detail about today. We had our big quarterback conversation yesterday. I would start Hendon, but I would also play Milton because I think long term you may need both of those guys, and so you don't want any one of them going to the tank. But That's what I would do. I'm starting Hendon if I'm Heupel, but I'm not Heupel, and he has a tough decision to make. So, JL, man, didn't like being corrected, huh? You thought that point was right. You thought you could just make a point about receivers, and you had a receiver correct you. Oh man,
Gotta love football.
Like
season.
3 yards is one step, bro. So they defending Milton. It's being what we call fair. It's being fair. So if you want to pile up on Milton and say every throw that was incomplete was all Milton's fault, you do that, football guy. You do that. But you have coaches saying it ain't just all him all the time. So you can choose not to listen or whatever. It don't matter to me. But that's just the truth, man. It's called being fair. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. We'll be back on Friday tomorrow. We'll have Seth Stokes. Tennessee's playing Tennessee Tech on Saturday, noon. Woo, Ben is pumped. Ben is pumped, man. Can't even think straight. Peace and love. We are out.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook. Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers?